One. Welcome back to the vExpert Daily, the Tuesday edition of VMworld's Las Vegas. Trying to think of where we are. I'm Tony Foster. Javier and I decided to switch roles today, so want to go ahead and introduce our guest with us today. We'll go ahead and start with Joe.
Howdy guys, I'm Joe Houghes. I'm a first-time vExpert and first-time VMworld attendee, so I'm just here trying to drink it all in from the fire hose.
Hi, I'm Nick Scuola. I'm a first-time vExpert for NSX as well. My first VMworld, so there was an option to do this, so I jumped on it and happy to be here.
Great choice.
Shane Williford at CoolSport00 on the Twitters. My eighth VMworld, something like that. I think I've done this vExpert Daily every year since we started. So yeah, but just like everybody else, just kind of meandering around the conference to see what I can see.
And I'm Mike Letschin. I think most of you by now know that. Today I'll be going by Javier, because, well, why not? It's kind of neat having multiple first-year people and first VMworld people.
It
today.
is.
Like, we haven't seen that. I don't know that I've ever done this. In all the years we've been doing this, that we had multiple first year.
I was going to say first year.
Now, not even first time doing this, but like first VMworlds.
Yeah.
Did you say it's both your first VMworld period?
Yeah,
First
period.
VMworld.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't know if we've ever had two first-time VMworld people.
That's a double dose
Most
there.
definitely. So I'm going to start with the first year people. What are your impressions so far?
So far it's great. I'm honestly just happy for the opportunity to meet folks that I've chatted with or followed online for years or a decade, with like folks like Jason Bakke and it's amazing how many people I know from Austin that I only ever meet at conventions. So actually seeing them at VMworld's been awesome.
Cool. Nick?
So I made a comment on Twitter the other day that it's my Twitter timeline in real life. I'm getting to meet all the people that I talk to on a daily basis. There's always conversations going, and just this is a perfect example of embracing community, where if I have a question about anything, I have somebody who's an expert that I can reach out to directly, just walk up to them, ask them a question, and they're going to give me an answer. So just that and the welcoming feeling I've gotten has been amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Shane, I've got to ask, what'd you do last night?
I may have sang a little bit. I was at the Zerto party, took several videos of the songs from the Journey cover band.
Oh yeah.
And just had a blast.
Awesome.
Michael and I were there. So
Yeah, I was the same.
Javier
I was there also.
A little bit of singing.
A little
Thank
bit.
God, mostly not from us.
I don't know if it was singing
Was it
or yelling.
recorded?
I hope there was no recording. Nobody wants to hear me sing.
There was some recordings. I posted them. I don't know if we could hear me though. Sadly, you could hear me.
It was Javier. It wasn't me. It
was Javier. Awesome. So there were a lot of events going on last night. Did you guys make it to any events last night?
I went to none of the parties. I was just at the hackathon, just having my mind blown. There were at least 4 or 5 teams that I stood there and said, wow, this product needs to go into production now. Like, just get it out there.
Yeah, I was actually over at the Zerto party also, so I was there for a bit. And then I might have snuck back, watched some Game of Thrones, and then showered up and went back out. So
all right.
Yeah. So did anybody else get any experience with the hackathon this year?
I didn't, but I'd love to hear about some of these.
Yeah.
Give us some. What were kind of some of the things?
Well, it was great to just see the ingenuity of some of the guys, because the wireless issues were abounding. The AV was more stable than the wireless, so that caused some issues with guys trying to do some work. But yeah, seeing particularly Kyle Ruddy's team that was trying to do the essentially horizontal migration from either vCenter to VCSA or VCSA to Windows vCenter on the same version, and that was really cool.
Cool. Awesome. So aside from the parties, some of the other things that are going on here at VMworld, we have the show floor. I'm guessing all of you have had a chance to wander around the show floor?
Yep.
Yes?
Yeah.
So Shane, what are some of your experiences from the show floor?
Nothing really stands out for me yet. I was going to go back on the floor today, although seeing Google Cloud have a booth this year, I guess after the general session today, know why, because I don't remember seeing them before. So, and the fact that they were close to the front. That was, I mean, it is Google, but
Yeah.
Todd Scalzot and I were just like, oh, I wonder what that's about. Well, I think today we found out why.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. So, Mike, did you get to?
I think we got a lot more small vendors this year than I've seen in a few years.
I
It's
agree.
a lot more of the little ones on the outside, which is nice to see. A lot of the big ones have multiple things too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Correct. Like Rubik has
that's expensive.
two,
Yeah.
like
I gotta
areas.
wonder the cost justification on some of that.
Yeah.
But the little ones I
appreciate
get.
Dean having the coffee bar though. That's nice.
Oh yeah, I mean anybody that has a coffee bar. Simplicity
Yeah.
did that for years.
All right.
So that was was definitely nice to see.
Yes.
I think the one that surprised me was the size of Pluralsight's booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of remember that from Train Signal all the way through, and I'm like,
Right.
that's a big booth for
Yeah.
a training company.
Oh, yeah.
It is a very big booth. It
There's
surprised me
usually
when
a
I saw
booth I
that.
stop by every year just because they're so great for at least the vExpert community, but they got
yeah.
great resources.
Yes.
It's hard not to support them.
Most
Back
definitely.
to them that support
So
us.
I actually spent a lot of time at the VMware booth doing some of the demos for a lot of the NSX technologies, some of the Cloud Foundation stuff as well. And then right across from that, it's actually the vMug booth, which was nice to stop by and see those guys because they do a lot for. I happen to be a vMug leader myself, so
Awesome.
seeing just the community and that they're still trying to embrace everybody is nice. So.
Great. Cool. So you mentioned some of the training and stuff. Has anyone made it up to the hands-on labs yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went and took the getting started for vSAN because I got to catch up on it. I'm so far behind. And chatting with Jace McCarty the other night, he basically guilted me into go learn something about it before you come to my session. So, yeah.
Good choice. Good
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah, I'm planning to head over there right after this. So.
Awesome choice. I highly recommend that. So I guess we'll go for the big one now. So the keynote for Tuesday just finished up. Let's hear thoughts about Elastic Sky Pizza and all the other things that were discussed or not discussed. We sort of alluded to it with Mike and Google.
Yeah, I'll go. My kind of first thought on it was one, it felt like a regular session, not a keynote. And you're pushing, we're going to do this for SMB. And you're hearing all this about SMB, and you're like, there's no way any SMB I know has the wherewithal, the tech, the skills,
The budget.
to try to pull that off. I mean,
Right, yeah.
it's kind of like people are like, every SMB is going into Amazon. No, not as soon as they get that first bill, they're not.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
very
what
much
about
so.
containers? I mean, is that really an SMB technology as well? I'm not seeing it around there. I mean,
No.
it's a cool technology, and I guess SMB, depending on their IT infrastructure, it could.
It doesn't seem like the place they would start.
No.
Yeah, it's not that standard app. Like a lot of SMBs need pretty much COTS
Yeah.
apps coming out. They don't,
Yeah.
unless it's already built as a container, great, but am I changing my whole infrastructure just to do that?
I think if they could prepackage the NSX and like the Bernie stuff, like the Network Insight, if that could be like prepackaged into a format for SMB, I think it could be very useful. It could
Like
be
Essential, stuff like that.
Yeah, almost like a
bundle.
make it part of like VMware Cloud Foundation Essentials or something like that, where you have a slimmed down version of NSX with Network Insight and vSphere and everything kind of built in, where you don't have to get that learning curve to get up to speed on how to deploy it and how to make use of it.
Most definitely, yeah. I agree with you on those points, and probably several others that we won't get into discussions here on. So that was good. Any thoughts on the AI material that they were showing up there today?
I mean, I've never been really in an environment where I think it's going to be applicable. So it's I don't see myself
I
working on it
kind of
anytime
phased
soon.
out over that as well, just because of the same. I mean, I think the automation of a lot of the things that they showed was really neat. It was really neat.
yeah.
But then you have all these portals that you have to use to do. I mean, so automate.
Yeah.
Click here, click there, click.
I
How
don't
many
know.
browsers or tab browser? Do you have
Is it
to
that automated at that point?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
is it really that automated?
Not
If I
so
have to
much.
click 12
Yeah.
times to get the same thing I could just do?
Yeah, somebody was saying, 9 different browser windows to do all of this. As an SMB, do I have somebody with 9 arms that can run all of those browser windows?
Probably not.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
cool.
think that's something that we might see some of their larger customers that they're kind of playing to that, which makes sense. So if you're going to throw out a keynote and do, hey, we're hitting SMB here, you still got to hit your big players too. I mean, it's not like it's two different conferences.
Yeah,
most definitely.
It's not. I think it's a much smaller segment.
Yes,
but probably big money for them.
True. Sure. Very true. So going back to the SMB space, has anyone seen anything interesting so far at the conference that they think applies to SMBs that they work with?
I mean, so the Zerto booth, seeing the Azure as a disaster recovery target, being able to do bidirectional replication for a small business, I think would be nice. Because you might have some businesses that can't afford to have a dedicated DR, data center, but being able to use the cloud as a target, I think is awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I know it's been several months, I guess, but all the storage integration with Veeam's product.
Absolutely.
I just started to be able to play with that in the spring. Did a proof of concept within my organization and some testing, and finally implemented it. It's fantastic. Just be able to consolidate your infrastructure with a central management point, doing all your availability tasks for your infrastructure as well as DR. That's good stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I saw from the Veeam booth, and it was something they covered back at VeeamON and in a lot of their videos since, but it definitely applies to the SMB and especially folks that are supporting like road workers. It's the ability to take somebody's laptop and restore that into Azure, so you can remotely take somebody's endpoint and make it available in the cloud. So if they're off-site and their laptop dies on them, you can give them back everything they had before. So that's definitely a cool one for SMB.
Yeah. Javier, have you seen anything?
So I'd say there were two things. Well, one I saw, and then one that was announced this morning. I think for the storage, obviously being a storage guy, there's a company on the side, Comprise. I don't know if you guys got to see them. They do storage analytics. They're basically for only filers though. So it's got to be file-based, but they go in and within 15 minutes can give you age of data, access of data, all the kind of stuff you're looking for, plus usage, IOPS, latency stuff across it. But then it'll also adds in a tiering level, so you can, it does the storage resource management side too, to like tier it off even into S3 while leaving referrals and not even leaving pointers. So I thought that was pretty cool. I want to dig into it a little bit. It's definitely a little small booth. I mean, they have like a pull-up banner and two people kind of thing. Like, they're definitely very new.
Cool.
Show love to the little guys.
It just means you get more face time with it.
Yeah. The TEDGEL announcement this morning was not unexpected for me, but so I don't know if you guys saw that.
What announcement?
No, what was
WD
it?
bought them.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious. I really just want to go back to see where they changed all their signage. I always love when companies get bought out when they're here, and you're waiting to see how long they knew. Whether all of a sudden everything has changed, or it's like a piece of paper over their sign. Now a WD company.
Too, right?
Is the contract signed yet though? Or
I don't know. I saw the announcement this morning. I didn't even see for how much yet.
Yes.
I haven't heard much from them lately, so I was kind of curious. And I was surprised to see them. They got a decent booth.
They do.
So, yes.
I don't know. I was kind of wondering about them.
I think they've. I have my own opinions.
Yeah.
I'll leave those out.
Yeah.
Yes.
No assumptions.
Yes, we know what happens when we assume. So, has anyone caught any good sessions so far?
So I saw the using Power CLI for your documentation with Ariel Sanchez and Edgar Sanchez. That was a great session. Basically, just how to use Power CLI to document your entire environment and troubleshoot if there's configuration mismatch or drift. And I thought that was pretty awesome.
Cool.
Doing the Meet the Experts panel with the vSphere guys yesterday was awesome. And then also up in the foyer area had a roundtable discussion that was 6 guys sitting there with Kyle Ruddy and just beating them up on everything we had for CLI and API.
Nice. Yeah, and I love how you two laugh when I go sessions.
I haven't been to a session at VMworld in probably 6
4
years.
years. I mean,
I take that back. I've gone to 1 or 2. But if I go to 2 sessions at VMworld, that's a lot.
Keynotes don't count.
I have a troubleshooting one. It's always good to, I think, go to at least the troubleshooting. And again, you can see them online afterwards anyway. But always to stay on top of your troubleshooting performance, expertise, game.
That's where the good tidbits come out.
Yeah, mine's more to find out if there's somebody I need to talk to that I haven't met. kind of thing. Otherwise, I'll watch them online if there's ones of interest. So I just find my time's better spent.
So I do have to ask this because I've been guilty of this. How many people actually go back and watch them?
I've watched a few.
I've watched a few.
Okay.
I made it through about a third of last year's.
I don't watch all
But
of them.
that's a fair question. I've not watched as many as I intended to.
Yeah.
I wish they did. So Gardner, when they do their shows, you can't get the recordings of it, but all the slides are available.
Yeah.
And I wish they would just do that. Like if I could just go like hit one button and download like
All the slide
check,
decks,
pick which ones I want and just download all the slide decks from those. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So
Because that's just as useful a lot of times. And then I can dig deeper in. Because I can get through those whenever. Sitting there watching it, it's just drags on and on sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't have 45 minutes every time.
No, I may or may not have grabbed the gigantic torrent last year of all the VMworld sessions. I made it up just so I could actually put it on my second monitor and run it at like double time speed to try and make it through.
Which some of the guys are really enjoyable to listen to at double speed.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've never been to a VMworld before, so the only way I could actually see the sessions was to view them after the fact. So that was always helpful for me.
Didn't know if you took advantage of the vMug access to it or not. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. So
Cool.
So why'd you guys, if it's your first one, what was the, like, we always give like tips and stuff that as we've done this, on things first people should do. What were the things, knowing coming in here, that you were going to have to like pay attention to or knew you wanted to do?
Well, the biggest thing for me was just hanging out here during the keynote, because avoiding the craziness and just basically picking up. I was at a high top yesterday, with power and everything, and watching everything. But really, for me, the whole biggest thing has been networking. Just seeing a lot of people that I mentioned earlier. Yeah. Just talking, and I think we were talking about learning technologies and like troubleshooting, that sort of thing. I learned a lot just right here in the hallways, and running into somebody and just striking up a conversation. And,
you fly on the wall. Yeah, I think the greatest thing I heard was probably the 17 or so blog posts that warned everybody, make sure you wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Very true.
Is this your first time to Vegas too?
No. I hadn't been here in, I don't know, almost 10 years. So I kind of forgot,
How far everything really is.
Yeah.
There's our fly on.
Yeah,
I at least have the advantage of being from Central Texas, so this at least feels comfortable to me. It's like being at home.
Yeah.
So
It's a dry heat.
I want to punch the next guy in the face.
That is such a load of crap.
Yes.
Coming from a place that isn't dry heat, it does not matter.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I mean, Kansas low humidity is 57%. So yes.
Yeah, if I get there, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're on
It
85% all summer. 80-85% most of the summer.
Yeah.
Indeed. So I don't have anything else really. Do you,
So,
Mike?
What else what are you guys looking forward to looking at? I mean, we talked about a few things on the floor. There are spots on the floor you haven't got through yet?
Yeah, so I still have to
Actually do a walkthrough.
like really just spend the time where I dedicate an hour or two to specific booths, and there are some people I have a checklist of people I want to meet and try and snag down, but I definitely want to see some
who
more.
else is on the list?
So William Lamb for sure, because
Good luck on that one.
yeah. So I'm,
Go to a session that he's
find a
doing.
way.
It's your best bet. Because otherwise he's going to be hard to track down.
Yeah.
The only reason I think I was ever going to run into Luke D was just because I saw him standing in the lobby over at Luxor trying to find his way to Hackathon.
What's up with these flies?
Now we have two flies.
I think I ended up, the first time I met William was he was doing one of these on it. And we actually, because he wrote some stuff, I had done some changes on the stuff he wrote,
Nice.
and we went back and forth on a few things at one point. So it was nice to actually meet him more.
And then Rebecca Fitzhugh, I want to find out, because we've been talking over Twitter for so long, and she's done a couple of vMugs in New York, where I'm at, and we've just kind of missed her. Like I had a baby and wasn't at that meeting and certain things, so I definitely want to.
So I know she's around. I saw her on Sunday. So,
I saw her yesterday, so she's around.
Yeah.
How do you think the purchase from the conglomerate, the huge enterprise companies of the smaller storage companies like HPE buying Nimble or buying SimpliVity, those kinds of things, how do you think that's going to affect HCI, if at all? Or their, their solution?
apparently
moving
it convinces
forward.
Cisco to spend too much money on SpringPath. In fairness, they paid themselves $160 million.
Right. Yeah.
But
Very true.
I would say that if that I don't know if we're going to see a lot of these flies are ridiculous.
They are.
What is going on with these flies?
And they're not even paying attention to us.
It's not just one, it's like 5.
Yeah, it's not like it's...
Yeah.
Good Lord. I don't think, I don't know if it's have as much impact on HCI. I think the big difference is we'll start seeing advancements on the back end stuff and the ease of use on the other products, because HCI made such a big deal about everything has to be easy and that easy button type stuff.
Yeah.
Even though some of the UIs are so realistically, if you make them any easier, you shouldn't be doing it. Like you need to have some knowledge to be doing it.
Yeah.
This
Well,
isn't something a trained monkey should do every time.
Sometimes that easy button is just the quickest way to crash that environment, and you have no idea what it did.
Yeah.
I think it's also, you know, understanding like what features are required, and you know, like it was always that I guess the Nutanix approach where it's like we can do 80% of what, you know, vSphere can do. So you know, we're going to go after the customers that only require that 80%. But then, you know, what's going to happen to that other 20%? Is it going to fall off? Is it still going to be used? Is it going to be improved upon at some point? You know, so I'm curious to see if there's still going to be that same like high level of innovation that there was when they were all the different startups.
And you'd think from an enterprise perspective, they have the R&D to continue on with that, but
yeah, but you don't see that from big companies.
It depends on how much involvement they have once they start lagging.
I feel like the last like 3 to 4 years, there's been a lot of like disruption. Like, you know, like Pure Storage going after, you know, like the big storage companies. You know, you got Rubrik going after backup. You know, Zerto going after DR. Like you have all these like niche, like I guess technology disruptors, and I'm curious like how that's going to come about, or if it's going to go more towards like that public cloud model and things like that, where you know everyone's just going to say, you know what, forget it, we're not going to disrupt, we're just going to put everything in the cloud and be done with it, you know. So I'm curious to see how that.
Or even with all the integrations, you end up with a portfolio of like 12 different platforms you manage to come up with your environment.
Yeah. Very true.
I mean, do you think that with that the HCI play? And I've never been a big HCI guy, personally. I've always believed, realistically, my storage does not grow the same as my compute.
Right.
Yeah. So how do I buy them at the exact same pace?
Yeah.
It just never made sense to me. But I think some of these buys, some of it's for the tech, some of it's for the people.
But it depends on the size of your environment, too. I mean, for smaller guys, it probably makes a lot of sense to do HCI.
Branch off.
Or you're buying at a point where it's almost overkill. You're buying more than what you need just in case.
Right.
On it. Branch offices, I can see that.
That's enough.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see.
I feel like as I walked around the floor a little bit, those little guys on the outside, somebody described it as they're all doing that 10%. That like other people, everybody else, I got 90%. They're that extra 10% and just hoping to get bought by the guy that's doing the 90%. And there's a lot of these little niche guys here now on this, and I don't think I've hit half of the little ones to figure out what they do or who they are at this point.
Yes.
Do you find you guys, as new guys coming to this and first time really on the floor, are you learning about products more here than you would if you just got the list of the companies here and started researching them?
So what I've been trying to do is, I don't have the time to just sit there and like go to every booth and spend an hour or two at each booth. I've been trying to get like an elevator pitch from every like one that I'm interested or that kind of catches my eye. I get the elevator pitch now, and then I'll research them, you know, when I get back home and stuff like that.
Yeah, unless that really intrigues me, and then now give me somebody who can actually dive a little bit deeper in this.
And unless you want to spend the time, before you go into, my suggestion is before you really get in talking with one of the booths, make sure you tell them high level. You know, or they'll spend an hour going over every detail.
And I usually ask what your differentiator is too, because if I know I got like 3 different backup companies within, you know,
what is that 10% you do?
Why am I going to use you over them? And like, what makes you special? And I think, you know, I'm not a big fan of like the guys who start with the FUD and they come right out and they're like, you know, well, they suck because of this. Like, I don't care what they do.
Don't tell me what they do about why you do it better.
To look at.
What you're good at.
Yeah, and I think that's the guys who come up to me and really, you know, they're going to tell me about what makes them special. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear.
That actually talks a lot about the culture of their company as well. And there is a certain storage, whatever they call themselves, that like to do that and make themselves out look better than I think the rest of the community really think or knows they are. Not that they're not bad, not that they're bad, but that's just not what you want to be looked upon.
I see. I've tried to use the opportunity to go to the booths of like every vendor that's come out to a local vMug or local user group meeting or something, because there it's always the sales guys and they just want to scan your badge and call you next week. And that's fine. I'll get the elevator pitch from them, but here I get to talk to the engineers, and it's, hey man, I'm not sure I might actually buy your products. You know, not sure that we could swing everything over to an entire new platform, but I want to know more about it. Tell me, maybe this is the next thing we look at. You get a little bit more, I don't know, into the weeds with these guys, but it's a lot of good information. Plus, you know, I just ask them, okay, hey, so who else do I need to talk to? And they'll point me at, oh man, I saw this really cool thing over here. I was walking the floor yesterday and found a really cool company. So,
do you guys care about seeing live demos while you're here? Or would you be fine recording or just walk through the slides in the feature, and if I'm interested, I'll sit for a demo with you down the road.
I like it if it's available that I say, I want to see a demo on this. Show me, you know, 2, 3, 5 minutes on this.
So it could literally be little mini YouTube videos that they could walk through and they just pick one, and that's enough for you.
I don't want to sit down and run through a 20-minute pre-recorded demo for a t-shirt. That's a waste.
The theater stuff, I'm not sitting for.
Not at all.
And then that's perfect. That's because you don't get the marketing speak.
Right.
Do we really need to hear that? I don't. I'm with you. I'm on for. We're here to look at the tech.
Exactly.
I mean, for the most part, it's mostly tech guys that I think are here, not as much other. So tonight there's obviously a few things going on tonight. There's one rather large party that's kind of known tonight's games.
Beam and HPs.
HP is their thing. But if you're going to pick one that's more known.
I'm going to.
Yeah, somehow I got triple booked.
It's Beams. Beams is probably pretty well known. But is there something you guys are looking forward to the rest of the few days? I mean, obviously we got some stuff tonight. Are you guys looking forward to the concert tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, I would have been about 10 years ago.
Or
I know, seeing Blink 182 just made me feel old.
No, I mean, like, I'm more interested in trying to get together and get dinner with some people that, you know, I
sit down,
have the chance
smaller group, have a dinner.
I think if I can have almost like little breakout, go grab a couple beers with some people, you know, and just kind of bounce around. I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
So I think we're running out of time there, getting the hook off stage for us. So I think we probably ought to wrap up the Tuesday edition of the vExpert Daily. Like to thank everybody who came to watch it live and everybody watching online, and especially the vBrownBag guys. So big round of applause for all of them.
Thank you guys. Remember, you can sign up on Schedule Builder for here or Barcelona as well for all the brown bag sessions. So this straight through.